If you like Morgan Freeman, you should definitely watch our picks for his best movies.
Creator of the heavens and the earth, Alpha and Omega.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Bruce, I'm God.
We hope you will enjoy the following ranking. Please let us know your favorite in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to never miss a good movie again.
Number 10.
May I ask, what was the song, sir? Well, it was in Posisikilele, Africa.
Invictus is a biographical sports drama film directed by Clint Eastwood and stars Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon. Inspired by breathtakingly beautiful real-life events and executed by and with some of Hollywood's greatest, Invictus dives into the South Africa's political struggle and Nelson Mandela's attempt to reunite the country through sport. Hoping to get their rugby team back on track before the 1955 World Cup Championship, it is two men for an entire nation.
We need inspiration, Francois. Because in order to build our nation, we must all exceed our own expectations.
Number 9. Driving Miss Daisy.
The fact is, you'd be working for me. She can say anything she likes, but she can't fire you. You understand?
Driving Miss Daisy is a 1989 comedy drama film directed by Bruce Beresford and stars Jessica Tandy, Morgan Freeman, and Dan Aykroyd. The film focuses on a 25-year-long relationship between a strong-willed, wealthy matron and her equally stout-hearted chauffeur, as they talk about their lives without ever realizing the presence of a true friendship. The story takes us through the growth of their friendship as the two bond over their outsider status, Miss Daisy as a Jew in a WASP-dominated society, and Hoke, an outsider because of the color of his skin.
You know, Miss Daisy, I really do enjoy a Christmas at their house.
I don't wonder. You're the only Christian in the place.
Well, they got that new cook.
Oh, Florine never could keep hell.
Number 8. Gone Baby Gone.
My little girl likely died crying out for me to come and save her. And I never did.
Have you ever been caught in a situation between morality and legality? Well, Gone Baby Gone is all about one particularly acrimonious scenario. A little girl is kidnapped, and a pair of detectives from Boston, Patrick and Angie, investigate and try to solve the case. Ben Affleck, known for his short movies, wrote and directed his first full-length neo-noir mystery thriller film in 2007. The performances by Casey Affleck, Michelle Monaghan, and Morgan Freeman make it a must-watch.
Shallow ditch bank at the side of the road, not 10 minutes from my house. I know what it feels like to lose a child.
Number 7.
You notice how I said was? Yeah. That's because he's dead.
Lucky Number 11 is a crime thriller film directed by Paul McGuigan and stars Josh Hartnett, Bruce Willis, Lucy Liu, Morgan Freeman, and Ben Kingsley. Impressively attempting to continue the classic flair that was presented in Pulp Fiction, Lucky Number 11 is the brilliant story of a giant misunderstanding that causes violence and war. When a guy named Slevin is mistaken as a haunted man, a gang war between two New York rivals rises with him as the prey in the middle.
Murdered. Relegated to the past tense. Sent from an is to a was before he'd had his breakfast.
Number 6.
Nigga, you ain't nothing but the white man's dog.
What are you?
Glory is a 1989 war film directed by Edward Zwick and stars Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Cary Elwes, and Morgan Freeman. This movie becomes a rare experience through its shining cinematography and a storytelling that searches its concurrence. Following a group of black Civil War soldiers who did everything they could for their country and who, despite the war being fought on their behalf, were denied any privilege or amenity due to their backgrounds. This is a movie that gets you craving for justice and a happy ending.
You watch who you call a nigga. Then the niggas around here is you. Smart mouth, stupid ass, swamp running nigga. You ain't careful, that's all you ever gonna be.
Number 5. $1 Million Baby.
So, what's the plan? I know you got one, so you might as well tell me what it is.
It's your fault.
$1 Million Baby is a 2004 sports drama film directed by Clint Eastwood and stars him, Hilary Swank, and Morgan Freeman in leading roles. Frankie Dunn is a veteran boxing coach who has dedicated his life to the ring but has little to demonstrate. The movie shows how his past mistakes haunt him and his quest for atonement by helping an underdog amateur boxer achieve her dream of becoming a professional.
Yeah, it's your fault she's lying in there like that. You kept after me until I trained her. I knew I shouldn't have done it, her being a girl and all. Everything kept telling me not to. Everything but you.
Number 4.
You're Mr. Quincy, and what was the young fella's name? Elroy Tate.
Unforgiven is a 1992 revisionist Western film produced and directed by Clint Eastwood and stars him in the lead role, with Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris. Retired outlaw and killer William Mooney reluctantly returns for one last job with the help of his former partner and a young man. Forced by circumstances and driven by the incentive of a reward, Mooney turns his back on the simple yet hard life on a farm and delves into the world of crime this one last time.
Them whores are gonna tell different lies than you. And when their lies ain't the same as your lies, well, I ain't gonna hurt no woman. But I'm gonna hurt you.
Number 3. The Dark Knight Trilogy.
Faster, more agile. Perhaps you should read the instructions first.
The Dark Knight Trilogy is a superhero film series directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, Heath Ledger, and Morgan Freeman. Without a doubt, one of the most important superhero trilogies out there. It also includes the most daring and loved superhero. The Dark Knight Trilogy is the rise of infamous title character Batman to become the Knight of Gotham, fighting for good in a troubled and corrupt city. Along the way, he is tested by his opponents to grow a true legend.
One of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world is secretly a vigilante who spends his nights beating criminals to a pulp with his bare hands. And your plan is to blackmail this person?
Number 2.
This was found behind the same refrigerator, written in Greece. There are 7 deadly sins, Captain.
7 is a 1995 psychological crime thriller film directed by David Fincher and stars Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kevin Spacey. Often considered the best thriller movie of all time and the Kickstarter for the legendary career of cinema icon Fincher, 7 is the horrifying yet inescapable story of 7 murders that seemingly share a dark pattern. When a mysterious murderer kills people who he thinks depict one of God's deadly sins, a police veteran and a newcomer face their greatest challenge yet.
Sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7.
Hold on.
That's not even my desk.
You can expect 5 more of these.
Before we unveil movie number 1, here are a few honorable mentions.
Misdirection, a basic concept of magic.
Not interested in the concepts of magic. I want to know how they robbed a bank.
You're an idiot if you think they robbed the bank. But don't take my word for it. How about a trip to Paris?
We're here because that New York Times reporter had the list of names of everybody who was in Guatemala. And everybody on that list has been ordered killed. Except you.
I had nothing to do with that.
People underestimate the benefit of good old manual labor. There's freedom in it. Some of the happiest people in the world go home smelling to high heavens at the end of the day.
Murray, what is this? How do you know my father, and how'd you get my pager number?
Oh, I know quite a lot about you, Bruce.
Number 1. The Shawshank Redemption.
I didn't, since you asked.
You can fit right in. Everybody in here is innocent. Didn't you know that?
The Shawshank Redemption is a 1994 American drama film written and directed by Frank Darabont and is based on the 1982 Stephen King novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. The movie is the highest-rated film on IMDb and follows the story of a banker who is sentenced to life in Shawshank State Penitentiary for the murders of his partner and her lover, despite his claims of innocence. Starring Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, and Bob Gunton, the movie is definitely a must-watch.
I wonder if you might get me a rock hammer.
What?
A rock hammer.
What is it and why?
What do you care?
Well, if it was a toothbrush, I wouldn't ask questions. I just quote a price. But then a toothbrush is a non-lethal object, isn't it?
Do you agree with our list? Please let us know in the comments.